And how are we going to analyze this one? I have no idea. I personally have zero idea how we're going to do this. As you can see by the title, Leicester have lost 6-3 to Man City. There might be a couple of other people joining, but I knew it was going to be bad. I mean, we look at the initial lineups and things, but let me know what you think. I don't even. There's just so many. I got a little bit carried away, and then it was just all over the place, lads. I don't really know how to analyze this because there's just so many problems, and I don't exactly know what. Well, the first place I'm going to start. We have to start with the formation. We have to start with that formation initially, and the thing is, Man City are a great team. Let's not get that wrong. Let's get it right. Man City are a phenomenal team, and they're my favourites even before the beginning of the season to go on to win the Premier League. I'm not expecting us to go and win there. Looking at the squad, you're going right, but first half, I don't even know where to start. I genuinely don't. The fact is, De Bruyne had enough room again for the first goal. 5 minutes. I was like, oh, geez, here we go again. And I was thinking it's going to get embarrassing. I was thinking probably like a lot of Leicester fans after the second, like 13 minutes in, it was going to get embarrassing, and it really was. De Bruyne is just turned in the box and is allowed to shoot. Vestergaard doesn't move, and we just concede from a goal, which shouldn't be happening. Yes, we defensively, we started off super rocky, and coming into that second half, I had to literally mentally prepare myself to go through. Hi, Ethan. Yep, piece again. We will talk about that. 4-0 down at halftime. I will talk. We were getting onto that now. Good evening, afternoon, whatever time it is for you, Dog. Hope you're doing well. 4-0 down to go back to 4-3, to lose 3 goals, and then to concede 6 in total. We will get into that, but thank you. We'll get onto Liverpool a little bit, but my God, we have to talk about that first half. Brendan Rodgers got his tactics horribly wrong. Shout out to Akash who's created a graphic for us. I'm just going to bring it up now, but it's let me just try and I'm trying to sort that out. But no defensive midfielder, really, Leicester, really, Brendan Rodgers. Come on, you're better than this, Rodgers. I know you are. So I don't know what on earth he decided to do here. Let me just bring it up actually. Yes, so yeah, Akash is the GOAT. 1 second. Just to bring that in here for everybody again. So we're looking at this kind of, so again, this formation 4-2-3-1. Again, it was more of a 4-4-2 diamond. And we're looking at this formation going, okay, this is second, apart from Maddison and Tielemans and Schmeichel, nobody else gets into this team. Bearing in mind, we're playing, again, I rate Daniel Amate in a back 3, not in a back 2. But Brendan Rodgers has to seriously question himself how the hell he started this game. Lookman, okay, well, there's 2 different performances, but at the same time, what the hell were we doing? Good evening, Brad. Hopefully you're well. Let's be honest, it was fun at 4-3. It really was, and I wasn't fun. I was just confused. It was for that first. We have to get to the first half. It was just so bad, and Man City, in my opinion, didn't get out of third gear. They weren't incredible. We had some good saves pulled off, but overall, it was not good enough. It really wasn't. That shout out to Akash. Thank you for making that as well. So, thank you so much for that. Second goal, the second penalty. I looked at it in real time and going, I was like, oh, it's 50-50. It could have been anybody's chance. I'm halfway between going, right, this penalty was definitely not given. And half-time is why you put yourself in that position. So I'm flip-flopping between the two. However, they get the penalty, they put it away. Riyad Mahrez does what he does. We know he's best. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is not good. We were playing some 4 out of 10 going forward. Just defensively, I don't know what they work on. but it's not good enough. Absolutely not good enough for a lot of what Leicester are doing. And Man City they were there and just go, right, we smell blood. Bearing in mind, they didn't have any injuries. I looked at people like Fernandinho and thinking, right, we're not going to be able to break that down. Fernandinho is a phenomenal player. I think you've heard from Jan and you've heard from Daps, who've been on the show before as well, how much they rate him and how he's one of the favourite players since the Etihad era or the Qatar era. I can't remember which way. Well, since the Man City became like as what we know them now. Then move on to the Gundogan. Same problem as the first one. He was just the first to react. Kasper Schmeichel moves it into the path and nobody's there, but maybe Kasper Schmeichel should have done better, just clawed it in. First to react, puts the ball away. And then I'll go 3-0 at 21 minutes. 21 minutes. I mean, it really is a joke. It really, really is a joke, what we did. And I just have no words for that first half. Brendan Rodgers got it horribly wrong. The worst tactical decision I've ever seen. Bearing in mind, this game last season, we're beating them 5-2, and we're saying the complete opposite by Brendan Rodgers. He got everything perfect. Yes, we had a different team. Yes, we had injuries, but in different positions. The fact that he had no CDM was super strange. I know that Ndidi's coming back from he was a little bit injured. I know that Chowdhury's coming back from COVID. But to play Maddison, Dewsbury Hall, Tielemans as a midfield three, and then Perez thrown in there somewhere. It's kind of like midfield diamond. I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking. A lot of Leicester fans, when it came out, I remember Glenn, shout out Glenn from the Maple Foxes and Glenn the Foxstyle on Twitter. If you want to go follow him, again, his links in the description in the football Beyond the Nice Family, where he found the lineup early and he was telling us, like, that can't be it. And I know Brendan's hand is a little bit stretched because of the injuries, but KDH, Tielemans, Maddison, really? As a midfield three? And everything was just walk through. They were just walking through us again and again. And it could have been embarrassing. Kasper Schmeichel made a couple of good saves, but Vestergaard, I'm not impressed. Daniel Amati in the back two, we know doesn't work. He's brilliant in the back three, doesn't work in the back two. And without Schmeichel, it could have been even worse at halftime. And I thought it was going to get a lot worse. Final score being 6-3 was actually really weird. Really, really, really weird. Really, really weird. This for the fourth goal. Sorry, come back to it. Tielemans. So Tielemans had a just awful game. Awful game. And speaking of the man that did the graphics, Akash is here. Akash, just talk about the first half, mate. Welcome to the show. What are your thoughts? Because there's just I don't know. It's all sorts of problems all over the pitch. I don't know if he's frozen at the moment or is that just me. Okay, Akash, you've frozen, my friend. I'm going to drop you out, and then if you rejoin the stream, and hopefully I'll see you moving in the background. I don't know if that was the same for anybody else. Let me know in the comments. Alex said I'll call his friend. We're missing Alex today. He's not here. Akash the internet is, I think, working now, so we could bring him back in. So we just talk about the first half. I mean, Brendan Rodgers got horribly wrong tactic-wise, and defense was. I've put down defensively, we are beyond poor.
The starting lineup was all over the place because you don't expect that kind of a lineup to play and match up against Manchester City. It was not enough to contain, and our pessimistic thoughts took over because this is not what we are expecting. We knew there were COVID problems at the camp. We knew about the injury problems, but this was out of the question. You don't prepare Albrighton to take as a right back. So everything was all over the place and rightfully deserved. Within 5 minutes we went 1-0 down. That was expected, but then again, not containing Kevin De Bruyne, giving him too much space to turn around, exploit that is not Premier League level defending. So very disappointed. The first two goals, especially the second one, was particularly harsh because it threw us off our momentum, and Tielemans really was, forced into making that second penalty because he was done for the game for the night. And yeah, again they turned it around. Very resilient fight. I love the fight that they showed in the second half, but the game was lost in the first half itself, and second half had all the other problems like the corner defending, made hits return, and everything was just shambolic. But what can you do? You are up against one of the richest side in the world, and you don't have a proper team to feed against them. So problems were expected, but just disappointed.
I agree, but at the same time, for the second goal, you have to be doing a lot better. For the defensive work, just for as an individual, you need to take a responsibility. The management got it wrong going to a back four for some reason. He against again, you look at that front line of Manchester City, you look at that and you just go, what on earth? Because they're always good. However, they're going to set up. They set up with Bernardo Silva, Sterling, and Mahrez, but they could have brought on all sorts of people for this one, and it's so frustrating. It's so but again, it's Brendan Rodgers has to take responsibility and go, yeah, he got it completely wrong. I know COVID's an issue. I know injury's an issue, but we've seen him get it right in the past with the 5-2 in the previous match, in this match last year. So it's we are a lot better than, again, you were saying defensively we're not Premier League standard. That's beyond Championship standards. We let them run into that, and then I know that we are low, but there's certain basics that need to be met, and it's not there at all. Again, so we'll move on to the first half, and then second half, 3 goals in 10 minutes. Akash, I don't know about you, I just sat there with my jaw on the floor. I didn't know what the hell was happening.
So the first one, to be honest with you, I had given up hope. I was just waiting and counting the minutes, like how many are we going to concede, how much humiliation is impending us. But as soon as the Madison got one back, I was like, okay, it's not a clean sheet, so we're not throwing this match away. There is a little bit of fight left in us, and let's see where it leads. Because obviously, Manchester City were going to score in the second half, because the tiredness creeps in, and they have a long list of substitutes who were waiting to be unleashed. They didn't use Jack Grealish; they just used Foden for a subsequent amount of time. So they had a long list of players waiting for the opportunity. And after that, 2 goals. I think under that 10 minute, whatever we achieved was blistering football. We enjoyed. I think we deserved some sort of a hope. Of course, it's going to be a roller coaster ride when you are watching a Leicester City game at this intensity, and you are up against Pep Guardiola's side. But even being optimistic for, I think, 10 to 5 minutes was pretty solid enough for me. But yeah, the questions about Brendan Rodgers, you have to ask the question. This minor fight in just 10 minutes is not doing enough. We are eventually losing points. Fortunately, other teams dropped points as well, so we climb back at 10th position right now. But it's not enough. We shouldn't be reliant on other results, and this is just not going in any positive side. So I can't see anything by Christmas point. I think a season is settled, and I don't know. We're gonna finish in the top half, bottom half. We're gonna compete or finish at least in the Conference League. Nothing is up certain at this point, so it's gonna be a very very long ride left for us.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, of a 9 goals in this game, and a one player that they mentioned as well, Madison. I mean, what was more impressive, not just the skill that he showed, but to show that mentality from 4 goals down, he could have just gone, right, throwing the towel. I'm not good enough. No, he wanted to prove himself. He wanted to come out. Some fantastic balls, some fantastic step overs that literally came out of nowhere. Brilliant play, and I think he was contributing in all 3 goals. Um, just phenomenal football from him. He could have had another goal, obviously, with Edison pushing it onto the bar in the first half as well. But there is just so many issues that, as there's so many brilliant things about this team going forward. Again, Daka looks like he's out for 3 weeks. Bertrand is out as well now, which is another really bad sign. But we have to give a shout out to Madison and how he performed in the game, because again, I think he's involved with, it's coming up to, like, I think he might be involved with over, I think he's got 15 goals and assists, or contribute to 15 goals in like 14 games. It's insane.
He has been the orchestrator, and as you said, he didn't throw in the towel as Tillemans did, and I think the margin for errors which Tillemans had in this game was questionable, because 2 goals,
Mm.
and somewhere around the line. That was the margin that was maintained throughout this game before we lost 6-3. But
Mhm.
those errors, I mean, it's a repeat of the same. We add new mistakes, if that makes sense, because we knew the corners are going to be conceded some way or the other, either in the first half, in the second half, and that eventually did happen because Manchester City obviously, were prepared to exploit on us on our weak, fragile underbelly. But the things that you don't see is particularly we got to talk about that first penalty. What was that? I mean, they were tussling in the middle, and it was an honest
Happens every
mistake,
game.
and both the parties.
Happens every game. These kind of things.
And yeah, that is actually painful because when the referee was talking with the VR assistants, I knew in my instincts that a side like Manchester City, it's obviously going to get looked at VAR. And if we count, I don't know how many times, I think 15 to 16 times this season across all the competition, we have had such close calls, and they were not even considered as penalties, or they were not instructed to the referee to have a second look at. So there is always that partiality existing, that bias, which is pathetic to watch. But then it threw us off our momentum, and it's a very harsh condition. And I don't know how much I can criticize about it, but it's just painful. And Tillemans, obviously, the second penalty, as I said, it just threw off his mentality. He was not feeling the fight left in the team, because who will? I mean, Brendan Rodgers didn't select a good side. He had, say, all the central defensive midfielders on his bench. He didn't utilize Vardy for the full 90 minutes. I don't know. He was containing, protecting all the players, and he was expecting too much from Iheanacho up front. You have not utilized Iheanacho to his full potential. You have not banged on his,
Still delivered
blistering
though
form this season. Still two
against a
assists.
very
Magnificent
good
performance.
defender. I think he still, for that 10 minutes, deserves credit.
He absolutely performs always against his former side, as does Riyad Mahrez. So we share both the traits of those two players battling out, and I was impressed. He just gave Rogers an answer back, and I don't know. Rogers is getting everything wrong. Rogers was one of my favorite managers in this game, but at this point, it's very hard to defend him, and I'm not defending him. I am all in for a managerial change, but I like the man, I love the man, I respect the man, but there have been very, very questionable decision. All right, and one doesn't even make sense at this point. Doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Again, there wasn't really too much to choose from. I get it, but at the same time, you're looking at, I don't know, is somebody from the under 23s available? But again, it's just the injury to Ricardo, which obviously, if you've not seen, it's come down. He's pretty much ended his season. It's not that bad as ending career, but it's obviously a horrible injury. And I think this point sums up Ethan was sums up brilliantly. Most frustrating there is there's so much potential with the team. We just aren't reaching and maintaining the high standards we have set ourselves previously. And it's true. It is true in terms of that, because the potential is there. We saw 6-3 is an awful scoreline to concede, but the 3 goals away to Man City, it's. But again, the main
It's
problem, we
simple.
score them 3 goals, but we could. But then what do? We concede 2 from set pieces. We thought we had it a little bit sorted after the Liverpool game. We kind of kept them a little bit quiet from set pieces. Then same old problems. I think Rob Tanner was putting out. He goes, "I'm not a professional footballer, but why don't we stick the big people, so your Vestergaard and your Amate, on their centre backs as well, and you match them up at a minimum, so that you're not leaving like Luke Thomas against Diaz, where Diaz is fantastic."
I can't make sense of all the tussles that go around in the set piece, because the team tries to avoid a catastrophe each week, and simply they are not reading the game. They are not seeing what moves are going to be played out in a few seconds, and that's always the problem. Wrong man marking other man. So yeah, it's all over the place. And the two goals, as you said, two goals considered from set piece, two from penalty. So without all those shenanigans, I think we played pretty well in the second half, because again,
Mm.
3 goals, fantastic goals, plenty of close saves. I think two chances Ederson saved. One was that Madison free kick, absolutely stunning free kick, again deserved the goal. Uh, Everything happened in that game. I mean, plenty of opportunities for us. I wouldn't say it was a close game at Manchester City's part. In the previous instances, we have seen them dominate the ball, so dominate the position, but it was a bit open at that end. It didn't look like that in the first 15 minutes, but definitely did open up in the later stages of the game. But we were just simply short-handed to compete.
We weren't good enough. We weren't good enough overall. I don't really know what else to add. I'm just so frustrated. I was even more frustrated at halftime. And I kind of gave up. And it was I've never been that must have been what it felt like to be 5-0 down when we beat Southampton, in Southampton shoes, because there was just nothing, and there was just nothing. And we do again. I think Dave puts a point. We do need to look at defenders. Oh, we do need to look at defenders. Nowhere near a best of back line. I understand that, but yeah, so we don't have these players that you mentioned: Evans, Cags, Pereira, Fafana, James Justin. However, the defending that they've done isn't good enough, and the manager needs to take credit. The players need to take ownership, and we go. And also, if that's the case, why aren't we just setting up with a CDM? We've got one of the best, if not the best, CDM in the entire league in Ndidi. Yes, he might be noticing an injury. Yes, we might be resting him a little bit, but to play none of them. Even if we're going to play Samori for a little bit, Samori didn't even come on. Then Chowdhury came on, did a little bit of work, and it looked a lot better. But there's that. But also, second half, we're 4-0 down, and Brendan Rodgers does change tactics, and it does work when we get to 4-3. So he does need credit for that. I'm confused, man. I've been confused for the longest time, Akash. I genuinely have. I don't know how to analyze this. Normally, I like to look into it, and before I've notes and stuff that I like. Okay, is it positive, negatives, reasons why this is happening? All of that, I think overall still reflect the goal line. 6-3, we lost.
I think when we talk about that defensive line, yeah, we know it's depleted. From the before the season began, James Justin was out. Evans was suffering a recurring problem. Fofana went out in the Villarreal game, and we expected a longer time span for his return, and all those things where we knew mentally that was going to happen, but we still opted to buy this two gem of a centre back in Vestergaard and Ryan Bernard, and that doesn't work. That simply doesn't work, and you have to also take into account that Kashmir Michael is having one of the worst seasons in his career at this point, and despite I don't care if he makes 5 to 6 saves. With those amount of attacks, balls getting hurled at you, you are bound to throw in your body and make some saves generally. I mean, okay, for today's game, Ward was unavailable, but how many of the chances has he got, even being fit all the time? So yeah, today Ward was out of the question, but Cashfish Michael has been very poor recently, and whenever a player is not performing to his absolute best, I think the bench role is a decision that the manager needs to make so that the player gets his head back into it. But with Cashfish
Mm-hmm.
Michael, he has that sort of comfort that he will be the number one in each of the games, and he will make some saves along the way, and he always does
Like he
that.
did
But his
today.
distribution, yeah, and his distribution, his clearance, everything has been questionable. How many times does he get out of the box to nullify a corner or something like that? He never does. He just instructs his defenders to do it, but yeah, the defenders are not there. These people, these makeshift people, cannot be termed as legit defenders because we didn't see Vestergaard or Ryan Bernard perform for our team yet, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. I think Bertrand contract is going to be up before he shows at least one good performance, and Vestergaard has the same problem. So, like, I am out for words, but again, if you are if you want to shield that defense, you have central defenders. You have Hamza Chaudhary. Even if NDD is injured, NDD is you are giving NDD some rest. An injury that we don't know about anything of that sort. Still, you have good players. You can feed them into this team, and they can perform. They can give you a little bit of that extra shield. They can cut in some space in the areas where Kevin De Bruyne or Gundogan plays. They can, create problems for them. And in this match, I think we saw plenty of instances where the ball was, guarded, the bodies were thrown, and Leicester defended some sort because the game looked like 12-0 at one point. So definitely we did some sort of work, but then again it was not organized. It was disorganized, and proper players were not fed into this team, and that cost us into the early 20 minutes, and the rest of it was a follow up from them. Brendan Rodgers went with that mentality that we're gonna contain Manchester City, and when that didn't work out, he said, "Do whatever you please and try to score." And then the team played with freedom. Manchester City went, overboard. They were always into our box, so we caught them a couple of times off guard in our counter-attacking approach, and everything transpired from there. It was kind of
Yeah.
a similar pattern.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is, you can't you can't contest. There isn't a team in the Premier League that can contain Man City. There genuinely isn't. Maybe Jurgen Klopp on a good day, but you're looking at the likes of Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, Sterling, still an incredible front three. Behind that, Fernandinho, Gundogan, De Bruyne. How are you planning to contain that? Gundogan has been, again, one of the best central midfielders in the Premier League over the last 3 years. Devin De Bruyne is world-class in his position, arguably the best in the world. Fernandinho is a really slept-on, underrated player. The reason why they lost the 5-2, in my opinion, they took him off and we went. But there is some positives. But at the same time, it's I think yeah, puts a good point as well. If we don't, the two from set pieces, two from penalties, and then yes, but the thing is, the two penalties. The first one we've discussed. The second one, there's no problem. There's no problem at all that I can give. That's 100% penalty. Timberland's had a stinker, absolute stinker, and that was a clear penalty. But at the same time, we're looking at Kasper Schmeichel digging us out of problems 3 or 4 times, which is not the worst. It normally happens. So I don't know, man. It's again just like the Liverpool performance. It's all over the place. We have to sort something. We have to sort something because it's not. It's that first half. I was like, I've never switched off during a match. The last time I was close switching off was the 3-0 last season against Liverpool when we played in that was awful. This one is close, but defensively, I think I'll update the title will be total defensive disaster. And that's kind of how I see it. Akash, again, I'm going to finish up because I don't think there's anything else to add. But would you like to add anything before we finish?
I'm just waiting. All the players that Brendan Rodgers chose to give rest, if they can gather 3 points at Liverpool somehow magically, then it would look like a fantastic move, because out of 6 points you are gaining three. Anyhow, winning one of those fixtures is terrific result for us when we are trading so far behind.
Mm.
Let's see if that happens. Otherwise, players like Timothy Castagne, Henry, Hamza Chaudhary were all made to sit. Vardy made to sit. So very questionable decision. Vardy scored two last game. Let's see what happens next game. Then let's analyze and let's see where this Brendan situation is heading.
Yeah, we really do. Again, shout out to the fans, the one there. Even though we were 4-0 down, they were still chanting away beautifully. They were singing "Ole" every time we were getting the ball. Ironically, love that. Then is this a library towards Man City? And then we scored a goal, which I absolutely love. If you enjoyed the video, before we leave as well, I will be going on just for the users that stay to the end. This is Sweet Review. I'll be going back on the Don Robbie show in 2 days' time doing the Liverpool game. I'm not looking forward to that one, but anything can happen with Leicester. We can score. We know what it's like. 6-3, 3-3. Nothing is forgiven. Nothing is given with Leicester City. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, but it's not a fun one at the
Have a
moment. We're
bottle
definitely
in
going
your
down.
hand. There are bottles there. Have a bottle in your hand. Be ready for anything.
I have the bottle. I have a big bottle ready as well. I have a Tottenham-sized bottle. Cheer me up a little bit. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and we'll see everybody in the next video. So goodbye.